in the 90s and we were constantly being told the planet was being destroyed, right? And they're still telling us this stuff. But there was one person with the power to save the planet. Does anyone know who I'm talking about, of course? Really? Do you know Captain Planet? That's absolutely what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the power is yours. Captain Planet. Oh, they got the Captain Planet music going on. So they said Captain Planet would be like, the power is yours, but I mean, it was kind of sarcastic, right? Like, not really. Like, you're not really going to save the planet. The real person who could save the planet was this guy, Captain Planet. He kept saying the power is yours, but we all know it was sarcastic. Like, only you can prevent forest fires. That's not really true. Okay. So, but Greg, I don't understand who Captain Planet is, though, because I wasn't born in the 90s, and so I have no idea who this is, because he was only on television for 3 years. So let me explain to you who Captain Planet was really briefly. Imagine if you took a cool youth pastor, and you added 80s Dolph Lundgren, and to that you added a Smurf. That's basically who Captain Planet is. This guy fucking loves that shit. I nailed it though, right? Nailed it. Yeah. All right, so that's who Captain Planet is. So Captain Planet would be summoned by the Planeteers. So there was these 5 people who had these special power rings, and they would get together when the problems were too big for the Planeteers to solve. They would get together and they would say, by our powers combined, we summon Captain Planet. And they all had different powers. Their powers, these are the 5 of them. Their powers were heart, water, earth, wind, and fire. And if you can't remember that, that's heart, water, earth, wind, and fire. Now you remember. Now you remember. All right. Earth, wind, and fire. So what I want to do, because I'm a serious statistician with a serious job, is I want to measure the so-called Captain Planet effect. So Captain Planet debuted in 1990. I had to look this up. And for each Planeteer, we're going to look before and after the date and attribute everything that happened to the show. So we're going to take each Planeteer's power, and we're going to look at which natural disasters they were responsible for. We're going to look at what happened before 1990, and we're going to look at what happened after 1990, and we're going to see who did a good job and who did a bad job. I'm a very serious person. Okay. So let's start with earthquakes. So, this is another, it's all just stuff from my childhood. This is Earthquake, former professional wrestler Earthquake. So let's look at earthquakes. Some people like them. Let's look at Earthquake. So this is the guy with the Earth ring was responsible for earthquakes. This is the data pre-1990. That line right there was when Captain Planet debuted. I have a red line there with the real data. That's the trend line through the earthquakes. We have the extrapolation line because, as every statistician will tell you, extrapolation is always good. You know what I'm talking about, right? Little statistics joke for you. So then here's the data after 1990, and here's the trend line through that data right there. So earthquake, great job. Now we can take this area between the projected curve and the blue curve. We can calculate what that area is, and that is going to be the number of earthquakes prevented. And we can see that Earth prevented 3,426 earthquakes. Great job. Yeah, give it up for Earth. Okay. Let's look at heart now. So here's the trend line for, this is the number of heart deaths in the US pre-1990 and after 1990. It was already trending down because we've increased our diet, people started jogging, I don't know. This is the data after 1990, huge drop, boom, big drop. This saved 3.3 million lives were saved by heart. Really incredible job. The story is pretty much the same for wind. We can see that we were trending down. This is the number of tornadoes magnitude greater than or equal to 2. We were trending down. If we look at the data after 1990, we get this right here, much lower, and the number of tornadoes that prevented was about 1,079. Great work by wind. Give it up for wind. Finally, we have water. This is the number of flood deaths in the United States, trending upward. Trending upward. And then after 1990, we had this downward, boom, some lives are saved, lives saved 334, water saved 334 lives. That's 4 out of 5 of the Planeteers. And 4 out of the 5 of the Planeteers, Earth, water, wind, and heart, they're all crushing it. Now at this point when I was doing my analysis, I looked at these 4 and I thought, wait a second, by the laws of comedy, I can't make fun of any of these people. I'm a straight white man. That's diversity central. But the universe provides. And there's this guy. There's this guy. Oh boy. He has the fire ring, okay? And now, he has a gift from the comedy gods. His name is Wheeler. His name is Wheeler. He's from Brooklyn, and he's a ginger. And these are all things that I am allowed to make fun of. The only other thing I'm allowed to make fun of is Canadians, but he's not Canadian. But that would have been allowable also. Okay. So all this is fair game. I can make fun of him. So let's take a look and see what Wheeler had to do. So this is number of wildfires trending down, but before 1990, we see the line there is trending down. And after 1990, we see this right here, and it's trending upwards. Wheeler, you've done a terrible job. So we can calculate the area between the blue curve and this red curve right here, and we can see that Wheeler was actually directly responsible for almost 1,600 extra wildfire deaths. Now, what I want to point out here is that this line right here, this axis right here is 0, and you'll see that the trend line does go below 0, and you're probably asking yourself, how could the trend line go below 0, Greg? Well, it's very simple. If above the 0 line and the y-axis is the number of wildfire deaths, what's the opposite of death?
Birth.
A birth. Those are the number of wildfire births. What's a wildfire birth? Well, that's where a couple is in their house, they look outside, they see a wildfire coming towards their house, and they go, you want to try? And then they have some babies. That's a wildfire birth, and that's what's happening when it goes below the line. So he prevented a lot of wildfire births. I guess it's like a weird kind of cock block. All right. So who is this guy Wheeler? Let's take a look at his background. I'm real skeptical of this guy. He's caused 1,600 added deaths. I'm not really thrilled with this guy. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at Wheeler's family. I did a deep dive into Wheeler's family after finding out that he was directly responsible for. I mean, this is mass murder. So I looked at Wheeler's family. This is Wheeler's father right here. His name is Atticus. He's an urban beekeeper. His hobbies are vinyl, upcycling, and vinyl, of course, vinyl. So this is his dad. Remember, they live in Brooklyn, right? So this is his father, Atticus. His mother. Oh shit, we're losing it. Here we go. Oh, there's his mother. His mother, also a ginger, whole family of gingers. His mother's name is Emily, but she goes by Pandora. She goes by Pandora. Her profession is yoga barista, and her hobbies are anything artisanal, artisanal mason jars, and of course, vinyl. Wheeler also has a brother. He has a little brother. There he is, also a ginger, wearing a bow tie, because, of course, right? Brother's name is Salinger. He's a professional. He's a child fedora model. His hobbies are vintage toy collecting, retro gaming, making zines, and of course, vinyl. Okay, so this is his family here, and I didn't notice anything too crazy about this. So why is Wheeler so bad about his job? After looking at his family, some people would say, not me, but some people would say, it's because he's a ginger and he's surrounded by gingers, and that's why he's so bad at his job. But I wouldn't say that. But some people might. By the way, there's like, the whole front row is all redheads, by the way. This is real. Someone seeded this. But then I dug deeper, because I don't think it's that they're gingers. So I wanted to know, who's this Captain Planet guy? I wanted to look at his background. And when I dug into his background, I found that his real name is Jake Hartman. His profession is captain. He has an undergraduate degree in ecology. His PhD is in environmental science from the Netherlands. His hobbies are geocaching, birdwatching, saving planets, and vinyl. Wait a second, vinyl? Where have we seen vinyl before? So I dug a little bit deeper. He has a brother named Atticus. Wait a second, this means that Wheeler is a Nepo baby. It's not because he's a ginger that he's bad at his job, he's a Nepo baby. So then I dug even deeper. And green isn't a real hair color. Captain Planet dyes his hair. Captain Planet's actually a ginger too. It's wild. I'm glad I'm connecting with this one table. Really crushing it right here. Is any of this true? Doesn't matter. If it feels true to you, it's true. And that's what's the most important. So what have we learned today? 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 What is not working? Hipsters love vinyl. The Captain Planet Show prevented 3.3 million heart disease deaths, 3,500 earthquakes, 3 to 30 flood deaths, 1,000 tornadoes, and of course, never trust a Nepo baby. Thank you for coming to the show. Look at all the gingers. I love the gingers. The gingers. All right.
Give it up for Hunter Red Matthews, everybody. He has 10 years. Amazing.